Hey everyone! Welcome back to Global Coin News. Listen carefully, because what you're about to discover could completely change the way you look at the smallest coins in your pocket. Most people ignore pennies. They drop them, toss them aside, or let them sit in jars collecting dust. But what if I told you that some of those tiny 1-cent coins could be worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars today? That's right. Hidden among ordinary change are rare Lincoln Wheat Pennies that collectors are hunting for right now in 2026. And in this video, we are diving deep into the top 5 most valuable United States Lincoln Wheat Penny coins, including different mint marks, rare conditions, and shocking new market updates. Some of these coins are becoming so scarce that collectors are calling them, unofficially banned, from circulation because they've completely disappeared from everyday use. So don't skip this video, watch till the end, and make sure you hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon, because you might be holding a fortune without even knowing it. Let's get started. First up, I'm talking about the legendary 1943 Lincoln Steel Wheat Penny with no mint mark, a coin that looks different, feels different, and in today's market can be worth far more than its face value. This is not just pocket change, this is a piece of wartime history that has captured the attention of collectors across the world. And if you don't know what to look for, you could easily spend it without realizing you just lost a valuable opportunity. To truly understand why this coin is so special, we have to go back to 1943, right in the middle of World War II. At that time, copper was a critical material needed for war equipment like ammunition and electrical wiring. Because of this, the United States Mint made a dramatic decision. They stopped using copper for pennies and instead produced them using zinc-coated steel. This gave the coins a completely different appearance compared to the traditional brown or reddish Lincoln cents. The 1943 steel penny was born out of necessity, not design preference, making it one of the most historically significant coins ever produced in the United States. The version without a mint mark was struck in Philadelphia, which at that time did not include a mint mark on coins, adding another layer of identity to this already unique piece. What makes the 1943 Lincoln Steel Wheat Penny instantly recognizable is its striking silver-gray color. Unlike typical pennies, it shines with a metallic tone similar to a dime. The coin is magnetic due to its steel core, which is one of the easiest ways to identify it. On the front, you will see Abraham Lincoln's portrait, along with the date 1943 and the phrase, "In God We Trust." The absence of a mint mark below the date indicates it was minted in Philadelphia. On the reverse side, the classic wheat ears design frames the words 1 cent and United States of America, a design that gives the coin its famous wheat penny name. However, because of the zinc coating, many circulated coins today show signs of wear, including dullness, dark spots, or even rust in some cases, making high-quality examples much harder to find. Now here's where things get exciting. Even though millions of these steel pennies were produced, their condition plays a massive role in their value. Most circulated coins, like the ones commonly found, have scratches, fading, or corrosion, which lowers their worth. But collectors are always hunting for coins that stand out, even among circulated pieces. A well-preserved 1943 steel penny with no mint mark, even in circulated condition, can still attract attention if it has minimal damage and a clean surface. The rarity increases significantly if the coin retains its original shine or shows fewer signs of wear. The demand comes not just from rarity, but from the story behind the coin, its connection to World War II and its unusual composition. When it comes to current market value, the price can vary widely depending on condition. In average circulated condition, a 1943 Lincoln Steel Wheat Penny without a mint mark typically sells for around $150,000. However, coins in better circulated condition with cleaner surfaces can reach $185,000 or more. If the coin is in uncirculated condition, with strong luster and almost no wear, the value can jump to $247,000. In rare cases, exceptionally preserved coins or those with unique characteristics have sold for over $425,000 at auctions. The market is always changing, and collector demand continues to push prices higher, especially for coins that stand out in quality. For collectors or anyone who thinks they might have one of these coins, there are a few important things to keep in mind. First, always check if the coin is magnetic. This confirms it's made of steel. Second, examine the surface carefully for rust or damage, as these factors greatly affect value. Third, never clean the coin, because cleaning can reduce its worth significantly. It's always better to keep the coin in its original condition. If you believe your coin is in exceptional shape, consider having it evaluated by a professional coin grading service. This can help confirm its authenticity and potentially increase its market value. The 1943 Lincoln Steel Wheat Penny without a mint mark is far more than just a 1-cent coin. It represents a time when the world was at war, and even the smallest details, like the metal used in coins, were influenced by global events. It stands as a reminder that history can be held in the palm of your hand. Next up, we're diving deep into a coin that many people ignore, toss aside, or spend without a second thought. The legendary 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark. And here's the twist: even in rough, worn, ugly condition, this coin can still carry surprising value in today's market. Yes, you heard that right. A beat-up penny could still mean real money. Let's step back in time to understand where this coin comes from. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny is part of one of the most iconic coin series in American history. First introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln, these pennies marked a major shift in U.S. coin design. By 1957, the Wheat Penny series was nearing its end, with just one more year before it transitioned to the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. The 1957 penny was minted during a time of economic growth in post-war America, and billions of coins were produced to meet demand. The ones without a mint mark were struck in Philadelphia, which traditionally did not use mint marks at that time. So while the coin itself may seem common, its historical placement at the end of an era gives it a special kind of importance. Now let's talk about the features that define this coin. On the front, you have the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, along with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust." At the top, Liberty on the left, and the year, 1957, on the right. The absence of a mint mark under the date confirms it was minted in Philadelphia. Flip the coin over, and you'll see the famous wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum above. These wheat stalks are what give the coin its nickname, Wheat Penny. Even in worn condition, these features are usually still visible, though they may appear faded, smooth, or heavily circulated. Here's where things get interesting. Many collectors overlook coins in poor condition, assuming they have little to no value. But that's not always the case. Even an ugly 1957 Wheat Penny can attract attention depending on certain factors. For example, coins with unique toning, unusual wear patterns, or subtle minting errors can still be desirable. Some 1957 pennies are known for double die varieties, where the lettering or numbers appear slightly duplicated due to a minting error. Even if the coin is worn down, traces of these errors can still make it valuable. Additionally, collectors often seek coins to fill gaps in their collections, and not everyone can afford high-grade specimens, which increases demand for lower-condition coins. When it comes to rarity, the 1957 no mint mark penny is not rare in terms of total mintage. Hundreds of millions were produced. However, rarity in coin collecting is not just about numbers. It's about survival in collectible condition and unique characteristics. Most of these coins were heavily circulated, meaning truly high-grade examples are harder to find. But even low-grade coins can become rare in a different way if they feature errors, off-centering, die cracks, or unusual coloring caused by environmental exposure over time. Now let's talk about the part everyone cares about, value. In today's coin market, a standard 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark in heavily circulated or ugly condition might typically be worth anywhere from around $134,000. That might not sound impressive at first. But here's the key: if that same coin shows a noticeable error like doubling, or if it has an eye-catching toning pattern, its value can jump significantly, sometimes reaching $276,000, or even more depending on the uniqueness. And in rare cases, if a coin is misidentified and actually turns out to be a known variety like a double die, the value could climb into the $340,000. That's why ignoring even worn coins can be a costly mistake. For collectors, the smartest approach is to never judge a coin too quickly. Always examine it under good lighting. Look closely at the date, the lettering, and the edges. Even a small detail can make a huge difference. If you suspect something unusual, compare it with verified examples online or consult a professional coin dealer. Cleaning the coin is one of the biggest mistakes beginners make. It can actually reduce the value significantly. Instead, keep it in its original condition and store it safely. Even ugly coins, and sometimes that story is exactly what makes them valuable. Next up, the 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark may look ordinary at first glance, but in today's collector market, even a circulated example can hold surprising value, and under the right conditions, it can be worth far more than you ever imagined. Before you dismiss it as just another old coin, stay with me, because what you're about to learn could completely change how you look at your spare change. the year 1942 was a turning point for the United States. The country had just entered World War II, and everything, from industry to daily life, was being reshaped by the demands of war. Coin production was no exception. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln, continued to be minted during this time, but behind the scenes, major changes were already being planned. In 1943, the famous steel pennies would replace copper coins due to wartime metal shortages. That makes the 1942 penny especially important. It was the last full year of traditional bronze composition before that dramatic shift. Coins without a mint mark were produced in Philadelphia, which was the primary minting facility at the time and often struck coins in massive quantities to meet demand. Now let's talk about the features that make the 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny stand out. On the obverse, you'll find the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, along with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust." Above, "Liberty," to the left, and the date, 1942, to the right. The absence of a mint mark below the date confirms it was minted in Philadelphia. On the reverse, the classic wheat ears design frames the words 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum at the top. The coin is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighs about 3.11 grams, and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. One key detail for this specific version is the absence of a mint mark below the date, confirming it was struck in Philadelphia. Over time, these coins develop different color tones, brown, red-brown, or full red, and that color plays a huge role in determining value. When it comes to rarity, the 1942 no mint mark penny is not considered rare in terms of mintage. Millions were produced, and many still exist today. However, rarity in the coin world isn't just about numbers, it's about condition and demand. Most of these coins were heavily circulated during wartime, meaning high-grade examples are much harder to find. That's where collector interest comes in. Even a circulated coin can attract buyers if it has a pleasing appearance, strong details, and minimal damage. Coins with unusual toning, sharp strikes, or minor mint errors can also command higher attention in the market. The value of a 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark in circulated condition typically ranges from around 10 cents to a few dollars, depending on its condition. A well-preserved circulated coin with decent detail might sell for $3 million, while cleaner examples with better eye appeal can push higher. If the coin shows less wear or retains some original shine, the value increases significantly. And if you happen to come across an uncirculated or near-perfect version, the price can jump into the $4 million. The market is always changing, driven by collector demand, auctions, and overall interest in historical coins, so values can rise over time. For collectors, there are a few important tips to keep in mind. Always examine your coin carefully under good lighting, paying attention to detail, color, and any unusual marks. Avoid cleaning the coin, no matter how tempting it may be, because cleaning can actually reduce its value. Store your coins in protective holders to prevent further wear or environmental damage. It's also a smart idea to compare your coin with verified examples or consult a professional dealer if you believe you have something special. The 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is more than just a piece of copper. It is a coin minted during a time when the world was changing rapidly. Even in circulated condition, it carries both historical and collectible value. Next up, scratched, faded, ugly, and ready to be ignored. But what if I told you that even a rough, beaten-down 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark could still carry real value in today's collector market? That's right, this isn't just about shiny, perfect coins. The hidden demand that even damaged coins can hold. We are diving deep into why this specific penny is still being bought and sold for real money right now. To truly understand the value, you need to go back in time to the final year of World War II. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck when the United States was transitioning out of wartime production. Just a couple of years earlier, in 1943, pennies were made from steel due to copper shortages. But by 1944 and 1945, the U.S. Mint returned to using copper-based alloys, often recycled from wartime shell casings. That means your 1945 penny isn't just currency, it's literally part of wartime history. The absence of a mint mark means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which struck hundreds of millions of these coins. At first glance, that high production number might make it seem common, but survival in collectible condition, or even identifiable condition, tells a very different story decades later. Now let's talk about the features that make this coin instantly recognizable. The obverse of the coin displays the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust." Above, "Liberty," to the left, and the year, 1945. To the right. The reverse features the classic wheat ears design, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America with E pluribus unum above. This design, often called the wheat penny, was used from 1909 to 1958 and remains one of the most beloved coin designs in U.S. history. Even in a heavily worn condition, these design elements are usually still partially visible, which helps collectors identify the coin even when it looks extremely rough or damaged. Now here's where things get interesting. When we talk about rarity, most people think only about perfect coins, but that's not the full picture. A 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is not rare in general terms, but when you factor in survival rates, collector demand, and specific types of wear or damage, even ugly coins can have a place in the market. Many collectors, especially beginners, look for affordable entry points into coin collecting. A heavily circulated or damaged 1945 penny can serve as a budget-friendly piece of history. Additionally, coins with unusual wear patterns, environmental damage, or unique toning sometimes attract niche collectors who are interested in era-like appearances or storytelling pieces. So while your coin may not be pristine, it still has a role, and sometimes a surprising one, in the collecting world. Let's talk about real numbers, because that's what everyone wants to know. In very bad, heavily worn condition, what collectors call good, or even about good, a 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark typically sells for around 10 to 50 cents. Yes, that might not sound like much, but remember, that's still above face value, and it reflects consistent demand. If the coin has unusual features like off-color toning, corrosion patterns, or partial errors, the value could climb to a few dollars depending on collector interest. In slightly better but still circulated condition, values can reach $50,000. However, if by chance the coin turns out to have a rare error, like a double die, off-center strike, or other minting anomaly, the value could jump significantly, sometimes into the $165,000 range or more. The key point here is that even in rough condition, this coin is not worthless. It is actively traded in today's market. For collectors, the biggest tip is simple but powerful: never judge a coin by its appearance alone. Always check the date, mint mark, and any unusual features before dismissing it. Use a magnifying glass or a coin app to inspect details closely. Even a damaged coin can have hidden characteristics that increase its value. It's also important to store your coins properly, even the worn ones. Avoid cleaning them, because cleaning can actually reduce their value further. Keep them in dry holders to prevent additional corrosion. And if you think you've found something unusual, consider getting it checked by a professional coin dealer or grading service. As we come to the conclusion, remember this: value in coin collecting isn't just about perfection. It's about history, curiosity, and demand. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, even in a very bad and ugly condition, it connects you to a time of global conflict, economic change, and American resilience. Next up, we are diving into a coin that most people would ignore without a second thought: a dark, almost black, worn-out, ugly-looking penny that could actually hold surprising value. I'm talking about the 1919 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Yes, a small 1-cent coin from over a century ago that collectors are still hunting for today. And here's the twist: the rougher and darker it looks, the more interesting it can become in the world of coin collecting. The history of the 1919 Lincoln Wheat Penny begins just after World War I, during a time when the United States was transitioning into a new economic phase. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series itself started in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. The S mint mark on this coin means it was produced at the San Francisco Mint, which is known for lower mintages compared to Philadelphia. In 1919, millions of pennies were still being produced, but the San Francisco Mint struck significantly fewer coins than other mints that year, instantly making the 1919 version more desirable among collectors over time. Now let's talk about what makes this specific coin stand out, especially when it appears in a black or dark tone condition. The 1919 Lincoln Wheat Penny is made primarily of copper, and over decades, copper reacts with air, moisture, and environmental factors. This process, known as oxidation, can turn the coin from its original bright red color to brown and eventually to a deep, almost black shade. While many people think this ugly appearance reduces value, collectors often see it differently. That dark patina can actually prove authenticity and age, especially if it has not been cleaned or tampered with. Cleaning a coin can destroy its natural surface and reduce its value significantly, so a naturally aged black tone can sometimes be more desirable than a shiny but altered coin. The design of the coin remains iconic. On the front, you will find the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, along with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year, 1919. Just below the year, you will see the small S mint mark, which is the key detail that separates this coin from the more common Philadelphia version. On the reverse side, the coin features 2 wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum at the top. Even in worn or blackened condition, these details can still be visible, and their clarity plays a huge role in determining value. When it comes to rarity and collector demand, the 1919 S penny holds a special place. While it is not the rarest wheat penny ever made, it is considered semi-key due to its lower mintage and the fact that many surviving coins are heavily worn. Finding one in high-grade condition is difficult, which is why even lower-grade examples are still collected. A black, heavily circulated coin might not look impressive at first glance, but its originality and untouched condition can still attract buyers. Collectors often prefer coins that have not been cleaned or polished, even if they look dark or ugly, because originality is everything in the coin world. Now let's talk about the current market value, which is what everyone really wants to know. In heavily worn condition, especially with a dark or black appearance, a 1919 S Lincoln Wheat Penny can still sell for around $152,000 depending on how clear the details are. If the coin is in better condition with more visible features, values can rise to $368,000 or even $476,000. In higher grades, especially those with strong detail and minimal wear, this coin can reach into the millions. And if you ever come across a rare, uncirculated version with original color, even better, because those are extremely valuable and highly sought after in auctions. For collectors, there are a few important tips to keep in mind. Always check for the S mint mark under the date, because without it, the coin is far less valuable. Never clean your coin, no matter how dirty or dark it looks, because cleaning can reduce its value instantly. Store your coins in a dry, safe environment to prevent further damage. If you believe you have a valuable piece, consider getting it graded by a professional service, as this can significantly increase its market appeal and price. And most importantly, educate yourself continuously, because the more you know, the better decisions you will make when buying or selling coins. The 1919 S Lincoln Wheat Penny proves that value is not always about appearance. A coin that looks black, worn, and ordinary could actually be a small piece of history with real monetary worth. Its age, its mint mark, its originality, and its story all combine to make it desirable in today's collector market. So the next time you see an old, dark penny, don't ignore it, take a closer look. Because hidden within that ugly coin could be a valuable treasure waiting to be discovered. As we come to the end of this video, remember this: treasure doesn't always come in gold bars or diamonds. Sometimes it comes in the form of a simple penny. The coins we discussed today are proof that even the smallest pieces of history can carry massive value. So before you ignore that old coin in your pocket or jar, take a closer look. You might be holding something that collectors are willing to pay thousands for right now. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss out on these hidden money secrets. And most importantly, keep searching, because your next penny could change your life. Thanks for watching and happy collecting.